Good evening. This is Eswatini TV News Bulletin 8, read to you by myself, Notile Sitole, alongside Zamanzi Manze. First up, here's a look at our headlines. His Majesty King Eswatini III has implored His Majesty King Misuzulu, the King of the Zulu Nation, to work hard for his people so that he can leave a good legacy like King Eswatini. Senior Magistrate Nonhlanhla Dlamini has been appointed coroner of the inquest into the death of Thabani Ngomonye. The Minister of Agriculture has officially opened a feedlot workshop for a group of women in business. And now our bulletin in detail. His Majesty King Eswatini III has implored His Majesty King Eswatini, or rather King Misuzulu, the King of the Zulu Nation, to work hard for his people so that he can leave a good legacy like King Eswatini. His Majesty was speaking at Hlane Royal Residence, where King Misuzulu met with their Majesties, accompanied by senior princes from the Zulu royal family.
A statement that has been released by the Chief Officer in the King's Office, Chief Mkwakwa Kametse, reflects that he had been commanded by His Majesty King Eswatini III to inform eMaswati that today His Majesty received King Misuzulu, the new King of the Zulu Nation, who was accompanied by a high-powered delegation of senior princes from the royal family of eMaZulu. The purpose of the visit was to officially introduce His Majesty King Misuzulu and inform His Majesty the King and Indlovukazi that the royal family of the Zulu Nation has blessed King Misuzulu to be the next king following the demise of King Eswatini. His Majesty and the Indlovukazi met the Zulu delegation at Hlane Royal Residence today. His Majesty thanked the delegation for coming to inform him and eMaswati on the latest developments, which their Majesties received with warm hearts. The King wished the new King all the best in his new and kingship duties of leading the Zulu Nation. His Majesty further requested the delegation to convey his best wishes and regards to the Zulu royal family and the entire Zulu Nation. The King encouraged the Zulus to support the new King so that they can realize huge economic growth and improve social welfare for his people. His Majesty said that it is important for King Misuzulu to work hard for his people so that he can leave a good legacy like King Eswatini. His Majesty said that it is important for King Misuzulu to work hard for his people so that he can leave a good legacy like King Eswatini. His Majesty indicated that the warm and cordial relationship that exists between the two royal families should continue to grow in leaps and bounds for the benefit of future generations. His Majesty further said that the two nations have so many things in common, which include but not limited to cultural heritage, which needs to be promoted so that both nations can remain entrenched to customs and traditions, which is significant for the unity of the two nations. The King also acknowledged that the friendship between Eswatini and the Zulu Nation has been there since time immemorial. On the news, I'm Sandile Makanya reporting with Themba Mamba at Hlane Royal Residence.
Themba Masuku says the government has appointed Senior Magistrate Nonhlanhla Dlamini as coroner to investigate the death of Thabani Ngomonye so that disciplinary actions could be taken against the perpetrators who committed the offense. Masuku said this during a press conference when signing the Gazette establishment of the inquest at Mbabane Cabinet offices.
Following the tragedy of the death of Thabani Ngomonye, who died last week, an event that has triggered emotions to the members of the public, Acting Prime Minister Themba Masuku has appointed Senior Magistrate Nonhlanhla Dlamini as a coroner to investigate the death of Ngomonye.
The unfortunate death of young Thabani Ngomonye is a tragedy that we cannot just ignore. It is for this reason that His Majesty's government has since appointed Senior Magistrate Nonhlanhla Dlamini as coroner to investigate the circumstances leading to his death. This appointment is with immediate effect. May I take this opportunity to reiterate that His Majesty's government respects the right of life for all eMaswati and is determined to get to the bottom of this matter and unveil the truth. We understand the emotions that have been triggered by these serious allegations against the police, and we appeal for public patience and support for the coroner as she investigates this matter, whose report will be made public.
Acting Prime Minister then signed the Gazette, and also present during the press conference was Police National Commissioner William Dlamini. For Eswatini TV News, Zodwa Dlamini with Mbonga Dube, Babane.
The Minister of Tinkhundla Administration and Development, David Ngampalala, has encouraged newly appointed Shiselweni Regional Administrator Peter Mamba to work closely with all stakeholders involved in development work and to support initiatives aimed at economically uplifting the region. The Minister was speaking in an event where the new Regional Administrator was officially introduced.
In the meeting held at the Hilton Garden Inn Hotel in Babane, where newly appointed Shiselweni Regional Administrator Peter Mamba was officially introduced to the ministry's officials, Minister David Ngampalala described the Shiselweni region as one of the regions still lagging behind in different aspects of development in the kingdom. Hence, the regional administrator should play a leading role in development efforts.
Sibhekile ukuthi etene mass lakhalphile ukuthi ishiselo engathuthuka kanjani.
The minister says it is gratifying that the regional administrator is a seasoned administrator who fully knows and understands how Eswatini's Tinkhundla system of governance operates, a virtue which places him at an advantage to pursue the region's development agenda, as he knows just exactly how to navigate the system. Hoho Regional Administrator Princess Tanzile, who welcomed the new Shiselweni RA, encouraged her new colleague to prioritize working well with different stakeholders, including community representatives, individuals, and entities. Princess Tanzile thanks His Majesty King Mswati III for appointing the new Shiselweni Regional Administrator, whom he also encourages to prioritize COVID-19 combat efforts, especially now that health experts hint that Eswatini could soon find itself plunged in the third wave of the outbreak of this disease. In his maiden remarks to the ministry's officials, the new Shiselweni Regional Administrator pledged to approach his duties with an open mind and to carefully consider every piece of advice meant at enhancing his work. The Minister of Tinkhundla Development and Administration encouraged the regional administrator to seek advice and counsel where necessary, and to especially tap into the experiences of other regional administrators. For Eswatini TV News, Hlengiwe Ndlovu with Mbongwa Dube in Babane.
The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, says there has been a production of 9,883.4 metric tons of locally produced beef valued at 498,487,500 malangeni from 2020 to date. He said this when he was officially opening a feedlot workshop of a group of women in business at the George Hotel.
It is the ministry's mandate to equip livestock producers with knowledge, skills, and technical expertise on the efficient management of all resources that will ensure profitable returns and an efficient and sustainable livestock industry. The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, says the aim is to promote commercialization of livestock production to ensure food security, poverty alleviation, and improved living standards of the farming community in the country.
There has been production of 9,883.4 metric tons of locally produced beef from 39,879 slaughtered cattle, valued at 498,487,500 emalangeni. Through cattle auction sales conducted in government farms and at deep tank level, an income of 2,290,030 emalangeni was generated by farmers from the sale of 324 head of cattle.
The chairperson of the Federation of National Association of Women in Business, Tandi Ngumalo, says government has put in place structures for Emaswati who are interested in farming to utilize. Therefore, she has pleaded with the ministry to ensure that members of the public are sensitized so that they benefit. Speaker in the House of Assembly, Petrus Mavimbela, has encouraged the women to ensure that they achieve the goal for which they have been established, that is job creation, income generation, food and nutrition security, culminating to the improvement of livelihoods and the economy of the kingdom. The minister has urged all the participants in this workshop to ensure productivity, including sustainability in beef production enterprises and value chain. Reporting, I'm Lungilela Makakula with Muzim Konda in Manzini.
The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, has encouraged Emaswati to venture into the feedlotting business to explore possible markets in the SADC region. He said this during an official opening of a feedlot training in Manzini.
The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, says the ministry is promoting the commercialization of livestock production by conducting farmers' consultation on commercial beef production, and thus far it has consulted 203 farmers on feedlotting. A total of 72 farm visits for feedlot inspections have been carried out, and there are 292 feedlots which have been registered, of which 168 are operational. The minister says a total of 18 feedlots are still under construction.
The ministry will continue to support beef production and its value chain through the provision of technical support and veterinary services. The extension personnel is available in all the 4 regions of the country, and farmers are encouraged to seek training and advice on feedlotting, animal health, livestock marketing, and related fields. I take this opportunity to implore you distinguished farmers for viewing livestock production as a business enterprise. Feedlotting is one value chain that has a potential and has proved to be profitable.
The minister says these interventions mentioned are informed and in line with the ministry's strategic plan and the Eswatini National Investment Plan. Reporting, I'm Lungilela Makakula with Muzim Konda in Manzini.
The Public Accounts Committee calls upon government to come up with a solution which will assist government employees who are seemingly drowning in debts. The committee members said this when the Ministry of Natural Resources and Energy appeared before them, where the ministry revealed that some employees are failing or were failing to pay back funds they owe to government as they are in huge debts.
Since last Monday, government ministries together with departments have been appearing before the Public Accounts Committee, where they had to account on funds allocated to them. On Monday, the Minister of Natural Resources and Energy was before the committee. PAC raised disappointment that the ministry was failing to recover loans awarded to its staff. The committee acknowledges that some employees were failing to pay back the money because they were in serious debts. However, they say government should come up with a solution and assist the workers.
and see other means of telling Bashambe but sit in the similar scholar. Ngabe vele by ministry bayabanika nesikhathi esinganani because phela umuntu angenta athembise ngaphela 5 years kanti kapha futhi kubena lesikhathi esiphela recommended ukuthi le mali ayasale bayitransfer ibinga la mali kaashona case yamhlongo lo mayimuzi lo kuzavu wena geza kama yaqotse basele kodwa ekwenyana ukuthi ukuchama
Mapanelo omkhulu etikweni letemcebo phansi kanye nemandla Dr. Dlamini uthi imbangela lenkulu into asilitiko lingakhona ukubusa imali likolodwa disebenta lokuthi disebenta tinyenti tincule tikwenetini.
Same ministry we need to intervene. It is true. Siyathatha longo contact the Ministry of Public Service. Njengoba bane-wellness department, we believe that we will be able to help some of the officers that are Thank you so much, sir.
The Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Natural Resources and Energy, Dokas Dlamini, says the ministry will approach the Ministry of Public Service so the workers who are in debt can be bailed out. Some of the workers whose gross salary is estimated to be around 6,000 Malangeni and now have a 1,000 net due to debts. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla, with Bawe to Stole Parliament.
The Eswatini Communications Commission supports the idea of accelerating digital transformation during challenging times in different sectors of the economy, especially since it has been proven that ICTs help fast-track development in countries like Eswatini. The Commission's perspective on this issue was shared by Fisiwe Vilane as the world today commemorates World Telecommunication and Information Society Day.
This year, the World Telecommunications and Information Society Day, which is commemorated world over on the 17th of May, is being commemorated under the theme Accelerating Digital Transformation During Challenging Times. Eswatini Communication Commission's Fisiwe Vilane says this theme resonates well with the kingdom's development pursuits in the ICT sector.
Eswatini is a member of the International Telecommunications Union, which is part of the United Nations, is also not immune to the challenges brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. So the theme this year about accelerating digital transformation during this challenging time is also relevant here in the sense that we have actually used technology to drive the initiatives that were ongoing within Eswatini in the issues of health, in issues of education, in issues of business, working from home, and also specifically on the education sector as well. So our children have continued to learn using technology. Work has continued to go ahead using technology. So ICTs have become a key part of life, whether at work or at home. This day is an opportunity for all countries to reflect on the challenges that COVID-19 has brought in terms of the initiatives that we can put in place to make sure that we still continue to live despite this pandemic.
One of the big challenges hindering sustainable development in the ICT sector in Eswatini, especially in the mobile phone sector, is high data prices. Last week, in her visit to the kingdom, MTN Vice President Yolanda Cuba promised that the company is working on programs which could further enhance data reduction costs. For Eswatini TV News, Hlengiwe Ndlovu with Mbongwa Dube in Babane.
The construction of the Nomvo Dam will be completed by December this year. This is according to Water Affairs Director Trevor Shongwe in the Ministry of Natural Resources and Energy.
The project was initiated in the year 2016 to assess the possibility of constructing the Nomvo Dam to harness water to supply the Mbabane-Mazin corridor with potable water. The project was mostly funded by the African Development Bank through grant funding. The dam was expected to be completed in the year 2018. Until now, more than 50 million Malangan has been injected to it. The Minister of Natural Resources and Energy, Water Affairs Director Trevor Shongwe, among other things, blamed the delay to complete the dam on COVID-19 outbreak. He says they could not visit affected homestead in order to discuss possibility of relocating them. The Public Accounts Committee members complained about the delay in finishing the dam.
I understand the feasibility study. More than 3 years, 55 million.
They did not understand why over 50 million Malangan have been spent on feasibility alone. Members suspect that the project has been turned into a feedlot, where some of people are making money out of it. Shongwe also hopes that funds to complete the project would be available. For Eswatini TV News, Fortune Dlangamandla with Bawe to Stole Parliament.
The Road Safety Council has encouraged the country's motorists to fully abide by laid down speed limits in the country's roads and to especially drive cautiously and slowly in roads that are within towns. This was said by the Council's Information and Education Officer Thembani Dlamini as the world today celebrates Global Road Safety Week.
The theme for this year's Global Road Safety Week is Streets for Life, #Love30. This theme emphasizes the importance of driving cautiously and driving within recommended speed limits, especially in roads that are situated within towns or central business districts. Drivers this year are encouraged to maintain a speed limit of 30 kilometers an hour whenever driving around towns. Eswatini Road Safety Council Information and Education Officer Thembani Dlamini encourages motorists from Eswatini to fully comply with this theme.
We are urging motorists to drive slowly, especially in town where we have a lot of motorists and a lot of pedestrians. So we want to have as few accidents as possible, especially those accidents where people are injured either seriously or there are fatalities that happen. So we urge all motorists to make sure that they drive slowly, especially when they are within town. In as much as the UN Global Road Safety Week is for streets, we urge all motorists that use the country's roads to make sure that they drive safely and they use the speed limit that is for that road they are using at that time.
Thembani says this year, countries world over will once again unveil their decade of action for road safety, which will end in 2030. This campaign encourages countries to strengthen programs aimed at minimizing road accidents.
We had a decade of action from 2011 to 2020, where it was discovered that a lot of countries, Swaziland included, Eswatini included, we didn't achieve any of the goals that were set. So they are relaunching, and we are going to make sure that as a country, at least we are doing something towards lowering the accidents.
In the past few days, the Royal Eswatini Police Service kick-started a campaign which encourages drivers to drive cautiously and to minimize their speed levels, especially since statistics show that more than 1,000 accidents occurred in the country's roads since the beginning of the year. Indicators show that most of these accidents were caused by high speed levels. For Eswatini TV News, Hlengiwe Ndlovu with Mbongwa Dube in Babane.
World Vision, SOS Children's Village, and Save the Children have signed a memorandum of understanding to work together to promote the rights and welfare of children. The three organizations were represented by their national directors.
The leadership present at the signing ceremony were SOS National Director Dr. Loretta Mkonda, World Vision Eswatini National Director Francis Dube, as well as Save the Children Fund Executive Director Dumisani Mnisi. World Vision's Dube said establishing the collaboration between the parties is aimed at using the organization's collective power and global reach to push for renewed political commitments on children's rights at all levels.
And we believe this MOU will strengthen that and make it more deliberate than what it was before. And based on my experience and meeting and sharing with other offices that are into this alliance, the opportunities are great. They work together. They collaborate and share. Resources. It could be technical resources. As much as possible, sharing.
SOS Children's Village National Director Dr. Mkonda said there is so much that can be done for children when working together. And Save the Children's Director Dumisani Mnisi says the formalization of the coalition is a landmark because there are so many challenges and dreams to be achieved. Reporting, I'm Lungelile Makakula, pictures courtesy World Vision.
Good evening once again. You are still watching Eswatini TV. Let's have a look at our sports news. Manzini Regional Pool League leaders, the REPS says, training hard has seen them stay in the top of the Divisions League after beating Garrison 7-13. The team representative Sifiso Dlamini says they want to win the league. The games were played at Eswatini.
The T6 Manzini Pool League is reaching its climax with only 5 games left to play. The Rebs in their latest game played and won against Garrison 7-13 to cement their place at the top of the table. And the chasing pair Correctional and Way-In also managed to win their games, where Correctional won 13-2 against Nix and Way-In won 13-2 against France. The teams looking to win the title says they are happy with the performances they've been showing, and they're also happy with the competition in the league, and they can all win it.
So far, performance ikahle sisitho ukuthi siya practice 2 days a week midweek, so ngolokubanga ukuthi sibe ku peak njengoba sikhona nyalo ku maintain number 1.
Ngathanda ukuthumisa nje i-competition lekhona nje kule league in general, and then bese kuba indlela nami i-team yami ledlala ngayo ikhombisa kuba serious, ikhombisa kulwela kuthola something out of the league. Yeah, ngasho nje.
Speaking of i-team yakho nje,
performance yethu pool i-correctional isezingeni lesedulu ukuthi le league lokho kusekusele 5 games sitawuzama tonke indlela ukuthi sikhona ukuthi si-compete ukuze khona le league sigcine siyiwinile.
Rebs got 62 points and Correctional got 60 and Way-In got 58 points. Any of the teams still stand a better chance of winning this year's edition with only 5 games left to play. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports News, I am Patizo MCB with Linda Dlamini. Ngabezweni.
The chairman of the Referees Association says having regional referees joining the association can help improve the standard of refereeing in the country, and all referees can be taken better care of. Gunene was speaking in an interview at the Happy Valley in Lobamba.
The Referees Association currently allows only Premier League and National First Division referees to be part of the association, which leaves out all the other referees in the country to be on their own, even though they are the feeders of the main association. This has resulted in the regional referees lacking even proper kits to use when officiating, and on the other hand, the Referees Association occasionally receives those kits from the National Football Association. The Referees Association chairman Sipognen has however came out to say they want all referees in the country to affiliate under them.
Kungasita kakhulu lokho, angithi ngalesikhathi bantu ubanika le belonging badivela nabo bakhona khona, so wonke umuntu uyakhona lapho kufaka emandla ekutheni.
Gunene says if they can allow all the refs in the country to affiliate under them, it will even motivate them to work even harder as expected, so that they want them to be part of the main association, so that it will be even more easier to have all referees judging the same way across the country, which can even be easy to take any referee to judge anywhere in the country as it's happening internationally.
International level, go to Gamtata a referee from one another country to another, before the judge so Sifiso
Kunene concluded by saying it is their target indeed to even be able to supply them with officiating kits. He says the standard could even greatly improve, and in the end football will also benefit. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports News, I am Patizo MCB with Linda Dlamini, Lobamba.
Well, Eswatini, that's all for now. Before we conclude, let's have a relook at our headlining stories. His Majesty King Mswati III has implored His Majesty King Misizulu, the King of the Zulu Nation, to work hard for his people so that he can leave a good legacy like King Eswatini. Senior Magistrate Nonhlanhla Dlamini has been appointed coroner of the inquest into the death of Thabani Ngomonye. The Minister of Agriculture has officially opened a feedlot workshop for a group of women in business. And with that, we sum up our bulletin for the evening. Up next is the weather update from myself and the team here at Eswatini TV. Thank you for watching. Good night.